The day started with some pleasant, surprising, welcoming news, and it ended with an array of injuries. Let's try to get to the bottom of it and talk about while there might be a silver lining for the Texans. We'll also hear from DeMeco Ryans in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Aim in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top two and we not two. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube.
Hell of a lot of injuries for the Houston Texans. Let's get into that. Let's talk about the good news first. I don't know if y'all are good news people, bad news people. When someone tells you they have one of each, do you start with the good news or do you start with the bad news? I don't have like a specific method. I think it just kind of depends what mindset I'm in. But we'll start with the good news. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. Be sure to subscribe, like, ride along. This is the place to get the pulse of what's going on with the Texans. Dare going to join us tomorrow. Should have been the special teams player of the week. He's going to join us tomorrow live on the show, an exclusive interview on In the Loop. You don't want to miss that. We'll have some fun with that. Big news of the day, Derek Stingley. He returned to practice. His 21-day window is open. We were asking the question, where is Derek Stingley? Well, he's on the practice field. They have 21 days to activate him. Do we see him on Sunday? There's obviously the possibility there. Props to the person in here who brought up his Instagram yesterday in the practice jersey. I guess it meant something after all. We have seen Tavier Thomas practice and them open that window and him miss the game on Sunday. So who knows what happens with Derek Stingley. He and Charlie Heck return to the practice field. I'll be honest, I don't know how Charlie Heck fits into this thing. I don't think he's an upgrade over Fant. So I think at the very least, he's a depth guy. And I don't even know if he's better than what they got behind Fant. They tried to make Charlie Heck a thing for a long time. He's getting on the field. I think this is a depth type of thing. I don't know what to make of Charlie Heck being back. Quite honestly, seems like they've liked him for a while. But yeah, we do have Derek Stingley coming back. Will he be on the field Sunday? Who knows? The other good news, and I think this is really good for the Texans. Jamar Chase missed practice today with the Bengals. He's got a hurt back. He's been an absolute monster during the Bengals resurgence after a bad start. He missed practice, and T. Higgins was listed as limited with a hamstring injury. So that soft tissue stuff for T. Higgins, he's limited. So the two biggest weapons that the Texans would have to worry about on Sunday, they're nicked up. I would not bet on Jamar Chase playing. I feel like they got to save him for Baltimore. And I mean, the way that he landed on his back and the way that he's speaking, it would be shocking to see him suit up. And then T. Higgins, the soft tissue, you never know what's going to happen with that. But with all the Texans injuries, if they got to face the Bengals with just Higgins with the soft tissue injury, I think you would take that all day, 100,000%. Let's look at this injury report. It's a painful one. I'm not going to lie to you. This is this is crowded. This is crowded as hell. This injury report. So we have let's look at this closely. Will Anderson did not practice. He's got the knee. Keep an eye on that. We'll see if he gets on the field tomorrow. That would be huge, not having Will Anderson. Andrew Beck, he has the ankle, elbow, shoulder. That would be big as well. That impacts your 12 personnel when you have two tight ends. That also impacts whether or not they're even going to use a fullback. I don't know if they would even use a fullback if Andrew Beck's not available at this point. Blake Cashman, the knee, that's big. He's been playing some good ball. He's been your best linebacker. Kaimi Fairbairn, quad. I would lean towards betting on Amendola kicking, so you're not going to have Fairbairn. Jake Hansen with the hamstring. Don't know what happens there. I know they activated Littleton. Maybe Littleton fills that void, special teams type of stuff. Brevin Jordan, I don't even know what I don't even count on that anymore. I'd be more surprised if he wasn't on there than if he was, to be quite honest with you, just being honest. Steven Nelson, back, neck. This could be a veteran day off. Don't know. Keep an eye on that. If Nelson can't go, then that would lead to even more reliance on Stingley. Pierce still out with the ankle. Tunsil with the knee. He hadn't been practicing on Wednesday, so I don't know how much to make of that. Jimmy Ward with the hammy. That's huge. They're 4-2 with Jimmy Ward. They're 0-2 without Jimmy Ward. They haven't won a football game this year without him. Now, if the Bengals aren't going to have Chase and Higgins, or Higgins is going to be nicked up, maybe that can kind of equalize that. And then Robert Woods is dealing with the foot. I would err on the side of caution with that. The other receivers can hold it down. But if he can go, not a bad thing at all. So those are the guys that did not practice. Good God. Now the guys that were limited, Nico Collins with the calf. Don't know how bad that was. He seemed fine after the game. Maybe just kind of resting up. Jonathan Grenard's shoulder. Don't know what to make of that. Henry Toto, concussion protocol. I would doubt that we see him on Sunday, but who knows? George Fant, limited. Titus Howard, limited. He's been nicked up. And then Sanders has the knee, and Derek Stingley limited with the return. Full go, Charlie Heck. So maybe we see Heck thrown to the Wolves immediately if Fant's not out there. Christian Harris, full go. Josh Jones, full go. John Mechie, full go. Sheldon Rankins, full go, which is big because you already have Hassan Ridgeway out for the season. So, my God. It's crazy. I said the number of the day in the city is 23. 23 was in town. LeBron James, and 23 guys listed on the Texans injury reports. 20 freaking 3. That is a hell of a lot of injuries for the Texans. So keep an eye on it. Tomorrow should give us a more clear picture. Tomorrow is usually the day when we get a little bit more clarity as to what's going on. I have a theory, and I actually bet against CJ Stroud today. I did so on the show. Feel kind of like a slime ball for doing it. But I bet on CJ Stroud to miss the free throw today at the Rockets game. He can shoot. He's an elite shooter, actually, especially for an NFL player. I just figured he needed things are going too good for CJ. I wanted him to taste a little bit of failure. I wanted him to get some motivation. I know he's a competitive guy. Most people miss a free throw at the Rockets game to start the game. They don't really care. CJ Stroud, I feel like it might motivate him. So I bet John Lopez today. I bet John Lopez that CJ Stroud would miss the free throw at the Rockets game. Here's what it looked like. This is courtesy of DJ Bieneme of ESPN. Here we go. He's going to take that motivation Sunday to Cincinnati. I feel it now. I feel it now. Yeah, I'm feeling it now. Missed the shot. That's what's up right there. $10. Hand me that $10, J-Lo. And we'll see if CJ uses that for motivation. We'll hear what CJ had to say tomorrow. We'll do the CJ podium stuff. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. What injury concerns you the most? For me, it's Will Anderson, and it's probably Steven Nelson, assuming Stingley's not going to be there. Now, if there's no Higgins and there's no Chase, then that kind of minimizes the blow. I would say Jimmy Ward, too, if Cincinnati's at full strength, because he's that important. Cashman, I mean, good God. On offense, I think you're okay. It's not great, but I think you're okay. But again, tomorrow will provide more clarity. Some of these guys, we'll figure out who's just resting. And then Friday, we should have the full picture. But if I were betting on guys that I would bet against playing on Sunday, and again, I'm a crappy gambler unless I'm betting J-Lo on CJ Stroud missing a free throw at a Rockets game. I would bet against Fairbairn. I would bet against Jimmy Ward. And that would really be the only ones that I would just like completely bet against. I think there's a nicked up squad, but the other ones I think it could go either way. And I would bet against Toho too, because of the concussion. So we'll see what happens. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans. He's not going to give us much on these injuries, but we can get some stuff from DeMeco. And let's be honest. I mean, I don't think it's like a San Francisco thing, but I do think that DeMeco Ryans, he's used to having banged up teams because for whatever reason, San Francisco was extremely banged up. Here's DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Texans, following 23 guys being listed on the injury report and Derek Stingley being activated. Here's your coach.
Get back and feel like Derek Stingley, he was just practicing that dude as he works to get back to defense.
We're happy to have Stingley back out practicing. We'll see how his week goes, see how he progresses.
But the second part, just when he's back, what do you
We'll see whenever he has the opportunity to get back. So we'll see.
Hey, Coach, I know
Didn't give you nothing there.
You guys have been putting like the best starting five out there, but I know that's still going to be the case. But at any point, would you guys consider moving Titus Howard back to right guard, or would he play left guard for the rest of the
And we'll continue to put our best five out there for our offensive line when it comes to moving guys around, all those things. That's more internal coaches' decisions of things we'll handle.
I'm sure there's a lot, but what would you say is the biggest challenge when facing Joe Burrow?
The biggest challenge facing Joe is you have to be tight in coverage, right? Joe does a really good job of going through his progressions, and he can pick you apart very easily. So you have to be on it. You have to be on your communication. Everybody has to be exactly where they're supposed to be. If you're off a hair, he'll make you pay. So that's the toughest thing playing against Joe, and also it's just his accuracy. He's very accurate. He gets the ball out quick. A ton of playmakers around him, right, where he can throw check downs and they can take it and turn it into explosive. So we have to tackle well when the ball is out, but you have to be tight with your communication when you're playing against such a good quarterback.
When you were defensive coordinator and you were coming up on a team in which the quarterback had played great, you would make adjustments based on what he did well. When you're watching Stroud, do you anticipate what the defense may be going to, like say the Bengals, see what he did well against the Bucs? Can you anticipate what changes they're going to try to make to counteract what he's doing?
When it comes to planning, when you are playing quarterbacks who are coming off a really good game, you can try to anticipate some things that they may do different, but again, you just have to go off of what you see on the film. And you just have to be prepared for what you've seen. There are a lot of unexpected things that happen, and in that moment, right, you expect good players to have instincts and react, right, when they do see things differently. So, CJ has been doing a great job of that, reacting and making plays off schedule when that time comes.
Is that easier for a veteran quarterback compared to a rookie like him, or is he making those adjustments like a veteran?
I think it gets easier with the more reps that you get, but I would say CJ is a very instinctive player, and he's made some instinctive plays that weren't quite on script, but he was able to make an instinctive play and, turn it into a big play for us. So that's what, playing in this league is all about, players who are instinctive, players who can make plays. You coach it one way, you expect certain things to happen, you expect certain looks, but things change in the blink of an eye. So as a player, are you capable enough, are you good enough to make those adjustments on the fly and still be a productive player in this league?
You mentioned instinctive play. I've heard that often from players. What might be an example that really impressed you most of the instinctive play that you made?
It's when you see pressure, when you see something that was not expected, and still being able to go to your answers when you do find that pressure and do it in a quick manner, right, where you're not putting the team in a negative spot.
What do you think about CJ being honored with the Offensive Player of the Week?
huge honor for CJ getting the Offensive Player of the Week, well deserved. And when you throw for that many yards, break records, is well deserved, and it's a credit to him and the work that he's put in. Also a credit just to our entire offense. Right? He doesn't get that done without the other men around him. So just happy for CJ and all the accolades that he's receiving. And he has a lot more to come. Right? If he continues to do what he's been doing, you expect those accolades to continue.
If Kaimi has to miss, is 3 days enough to get a good sense of what exactly Amendola is capable of doing for you guys?
We'll see. We got a kicker ready at halftime last week, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
How difficult is it to game plan when you have to deal with so many injuries throughout the season? I know you have the next man up mentality, but not knowing the status of these players are going to be there now, how hard is that for you?
It doesn't stop our process. We go through the same process. Hey, things happen. That's life, man. Things don't go your way all the time. So, yeah, I continue to smile through it. And, hey, we're going to have our best guys out there, whoever is available. We're going to have our best guys out there, and we're going to play Texan brand of football.
Back to you, take a few more. Back to your earlier point about instinctive players like CJ, playing a considerable on defense. How much do you guys like that make your job and your staff job easier? Value, man, and all this?
For sure. It makes your job a lot easier when you have players, right, who can make what we call those instinctive plays. Those are the best players in the league. Like, a lot of guys can just line up and do what the playbook says, but it's the guys who can do that extra, guys who can diagnose things quicker than others. Those are the guys who stand out when they are smart players, instinctive players. Those are guys who stand out, and they make big plays consistently each week based on their instincts.
The Bengals defense, in particular DJ Ritter and Henderson, what do you see about their front, linebackers, overall defense?
Bengals have a good defensive front, starting with 91 on the edge. Henderson does a really good job, run game, pass game, right, getting after, and he's relentless. He doesn't stop. Good motor, good finisher, all the way across the board. I think what impresses me the most about their defense is just how they attack the football, right? They make you pay, right? They catch the interceptions that you throw. They're not dropping them, right? They force fumbles. They do a really good job of playing together. They play fast, right? They have a really good scheme with their pressures, whether it's nickel pressure, safety pressure. Coach Lou does a really good job of mixing it up, the disguise element of what they're doing. They're very well coached defense, much respect for what they do defensively, one of the top defenses in this league.
You mentioned a couple more, obviously Joe Burrow has to pick the parts, accuracy. From your perspective, what's the balance in trying to confuse him with some of the coverages, but also not wanting to do too much to where you guys have a bust and now he can easily pick that apart? When it comes to just mixing things up for the quarterback, it's about us and what we need to do, right? Making sure our guys are comfortable with what we're doing and making sure that we can play fast as opposed to trying to do something to confuse the opponent, right? If we played our strengths and we play well, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Now it's up to our guys to step up and make plays, and that's what the game will come down to.
Coach, away from the field, CJ is going to take the first shot tonight over between the Rockets. You made yours. Are you going to put any pressure on him?
Oh, yeah, put the pressure on and tell him Coach dropped it. That's a lot of practice. My wife helped me out a lot there.
You guys get it.
All right, there you go. And he ended up missing it. So there we go. A very crowded injury report. Someone mentioned Jonathan Grenard. I just don't know how serious that is. I was talking more so about the guys that I think could miss. But tomorrow's really going to be the telling day. That's where we get a little more clear picture. We'll see some of these guys return. We'll see some remain out. And then we'll probably get a little bit of a better picture. Hopefully you can trim that DNP list in half. That would be really nice. And then hopefully Jamar Chase still chilling, getting ready for Baltimore or whatever the hell that is. Someone asked about a Jason Barrett activation. Man, God bless that guy. He's been through a hell of a lot. I liked him at TCU. I like him. I like that he's still playing ball with all the adversity he's gone through. He's had like a ton of injuries. We went over that a little bit before. So to reset the top news, as we always do before we get out of here, this one's a little bit quicker. Tomorrow's will probably be a little bit longer. Look out for the CJ Stroud podium exercise to drop around noon. Derek Stingley's back. Charlie Heck's back. 23 guys on the injury report. Some very significant names. Tomorrow, we should get more clarity on the situation that the Texans are in. CJ Stroud misses a shot. That could be a good thing. I want to end this with a question of the day for y'all, and I want y'all to put this in the comments. So we know that the Texans are in the AFC South. We know that the Texans are chasing the Jags just like everyone else. We know that the Texans, at the end of the day, would like to catch the Jags. They're a couple games back of the Jags. This week, the Jags they are a 3-point underdog at home. They face a team that's lost 3 straight games. That team is the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think that the San Francisco 49ers, knowing that the Texans handed the Jags their worst loss of the season, do you think that maybe the San Francisco 49ers called DeMeco Ryans and asked him for maybe some tips or maybe what he saw? Did you see? Tell us something about this squad. Tell us what you did to do what we have to do this week, which is go win in Jacksonville. What did you do? What went down? What were the keys? Do you think San Francisco called DeMeco Ryans? Put that in the comments. That's a question. Tomorrow, by the way, we're going to get a little Bryce Young action against Chicago. I do wonder. I'm putting the over-under at 2.5 times that CJ Stroud gets mentioned. I know it's going to be at least 1, but I think we're going to hear it a lot. There's a lot of CJ Stroud love. Chicago could have made that pick. The Bears could have made that pick. I think CJ comes up. But do you think that the San Francisco 49ers called DeMeco? Devin says, get that 15. Lopez added an extra 5 for a swish. I did bet against CJ, but I think it's going to be motivation. I'm starting to lean towards perhaps a closer game than we'd expect. It's going to be pretty good. Why would they have to ask for the tape? The tape's available, man. You don't have to ask DeMeco for tape. What they do? You think the only way you can get tape is call the Texans? What does that mean? What do you think this is? 1910? They like spinning it and watching it? Hey, can we get that tape? I know you played the Jags. Can you send us some tape, DeMeco? I'm just giving you a hard time, Jacory. I don't know what that means, though. DeMeco, hey, here's our address. Send us some tape. Send us some tape, please. Yeah. Oh, against the Jags. Is there some film available that we can watch? I love you all. Shout out to Jacory. I'm just messing with you, brother. I appreciate you. I know you're just messing around. We're all messing around. It's all love. It's all good times. It's all good vibes. Whether they win or not, 5-5 will get you set up for a playoff push. Now, if you win this, it gets real fun, but I don't know how much more fun it can get, especially given what we've been through. Appreciate all y'all for rolling through. Shout out to you. Be sure to subscribe, like. CJ tomorrow. Show at 10. We're going to have Dare. It's either going to air tomorrow live or we'll air it Friday because they've been going a little bit late at practice. Appreciate y'all. All love. We're all in this together. Love you guys.
Yeah, we top 2 and we not 2. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days. Opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number 1. You don't need to try.